It's time to add some air terminals, or diffusers. Now, diffusers work really well if we're in a ceiling plan. So I'm going to go to Ceiling Plans, Level 1. I'm going to sprinkle some diffusers in this area here. It's going to be in one zone. So I'm going to come into here. I'm going to put the harder one in first. I want to go to the Systems tab. Now I want to click on Air Terminal. I'm going to click the drop down here, and I want to grab M Supply Diffuser 600 by 600 face, 300 connection. Now for my offset, I want to go 2438. Now we can see it. For mechanical settings, I'm going to turn off my flow arrows. Some people like to show them, some don't. I'm going to turn them off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over one of these lines, and I'm going to hit my space bar, and it's going to flip it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically stick it right here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I knew it would take a second to turn those arrows off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that align command again. It's pretty handy. I'm going to type AL for align. I'm going to select this line here. I'm going to grab it here. Don't lock it. I'm going to click this line here, and I'm going to select that line there. Right in the middle of the room. I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit my copy button. Now I'm going to pick a point in this corner here, and I'm going to copy it right down to here. Now I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to select my section marker, and I'm going to pull it all the way down, and I'm going to make sure that my extents go all the way down with it. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to verify that those are sitting nicely in our ceiling. I'm going to hit Control Tab and go back down. Another thing I'd like to do, which is kind of neat, is I'm going to go to Annotate. I'm going to go to Spot Elevation. And if I hover over my ceiling, I can see what the elevation is, and it's at 2438. Luckily, that's what I put my diffusers in at. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to select one of these diffusers. I'm going to right click. I'm going to create similar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one over into here. So I'm going to select this. It's a pain they have to keep moving them, but I put one in, and then I can move them around. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to move it up, then I'm going to move it over. I'm going to select it. I'm going to click copy. Now I'm going to copy it down to here. I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to copy it down to this room. I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to copy it down into here. Obviously, we're going to have a bunch here. So I'm going to pick a point here, select it. Now I'm going to click copy. This time I'm going to go multiple. Pick a point here to here. I'm going to copy it down here, over to here. I think we get the point. So I'm going to load up this area with some air terminals, and this will be pretty good. Go to a 3D view. Make sure everything's in our ceiling. I'm going to go back down to Level 1 ceiling plan. I'm going to hit Spot Elevation. Just going to make sure that all of our ceilings are at the right spot. Now, these are not hosted to a ceiling, and there's a reason for that. Hosting lights, I have no problem with doing that. We're going to connect these via ductwork into this VAV. This VAV, of course, is going to be connected to our rooftop unit. Now, if the architect moves the ceilings way up or way down, what happens is when we open our model up or sync our model, basically what's going to happen is it's going to break all of our connections. I would rather have my diffusers floating in the air than have all those errors. So that's why I like to put my diffusers as unhosted elements.